All right. Good morning. Happy Friday. I hope you all had a good week. Let's go ahead and get started in a just a cross-legged position, or any seated position is fine. Let me check something. All right, so let's just go ahead. Just kind of take a breath here, doing a few shoulder rolls. So rolling those shoulders up by the ears, sliding them down and back. So just big, big circles. And then let's switch directions. So we'll go forward. Good. Now we're going to reach those arms up overhead. Let's do circles with those arms. And then nice and slow. And then let's reverse it. We'll go forward. And then we'll reach those arms up. Let's find a side stretch over to that right side. So grounding that left hip down, reaching that arm up and over. And then let's bring it back up. Go into the other side. So we'll reach that right arm up, ground that right hip down. Big side stretch. And now bring it back up. Let's go ahead and lower both hands down. We're going to do some neck rolls. So dropping that right ear, or the left ear, excuse me, over to that left shoulder, pulling that right shoulder hip down and back. You can even kind of guide that shoulder back, even maybe put a little bit of pressure on it so that hand just gently pulls that shoulder down and back. Bring it back up. Let's go to the other side, dropping that right ear down towards that right shoulder, pulling that left shoulder down and back. And bring it back up. Now let's just bring that chin to the chest. And then we'll make circles. So sweep that ear over to that left side. And bring it back down to the chest. And let's go over to the right side. Go center and over. Center and over. So maybe even making that full circle with that neck if that feels okay. Or if you'd rather just do the half circles, that is fine too. A couple more times. And then bring that head back up. Let's interlace those fingers behind the back. Draw those knuckles down towards the ground. Then the hands come away from those hips. Take another breath. And now let's bring those hands. So keep the fingers interlaced. We're just going to bring those hands over to that left hip. And then again, we'll drop that left ear towards that left shoulder. Now from here, you can stay in this position if you're feeling that pretty good stretch. But if you want, just start to look down towards that left knee. Okay, so kind of turning that chin down a little bit so it moves that stretch. It's still on that right side of the neck, but moves it towards the back a little bit more. And then bring that gaze forward. So again, keeping that head kind of tilted over to the side. And then look down. Bring the gaze forward. And down. And then bring that gaze forward. Now, lift that head up. And we'll go to the other side. And we'll just drop that right ear down towards that right shoulder. And slowly bring that gaze down towards that right knee. And then you can keep the head tilted down. We'll just bring the gaze forward and down. And forward and down. Bring that gaze forward. Lift the head up, reaching those arms up overhead. We'll twist it over to that right side. Sit tall on the inhale, exhale, a little deeper twist. Good, bring it back to center. Reach the arms up and exhale to the other side. Bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and lower down onto those hands and knees. Tabletop. Okay. So inhale, we're going to drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, round that spine. Press the shoulder blades away. Draw that belly up and in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. And exhale, round. Now, with that rounded spine, I want you to walk the knees together, walk the feet together with the rounded back. Press those hips back to the heels, and then just go ahead and rest that head down. So a little bit more rounded spine for this child's pose. Now from here, go ahead and slide those knees, or the elbows to the knees, and then bring those forearms as close together as you can. Okay, we're gonna bring that right hand behind the back. Okay, so the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. So turning like your thumb down, back to the hand is on that tailbone. Take that big breath in, and then we'll twist, open up. So gazing over that right shoulder. Good, inhale, bring it down. Good, exhale, open up, twist. Inhale, bring it down. And exhale, open up, twist. Good, then go ahead and release it to the other side. We'll bring the left hand towards the tailbone. Big breath in, exhale, twist. Inhale it back down. Exhale, open up, twist. Inhale it back down. Exhale, open up, twist. Good, then bring it back down. Let's go and slide those hands forward so the hips are right over those knees. And again, lower that forehead down towards the mat. If the shoulders are really tight and that head's just hovering, that's okay. And maybe you went a little bit deeper stretch and you lower that chin down towards the mat. Keep core is tight, really active through those fingers. Pressing into those palms and pulling those forearms towards each other. Good, now let's slide it forward. We're just gonna come into a forearm plank, so a little warm up through that core. Really strong through those legs, that chest pulls forward. Pressing the shoulder blades away from each other. Really drawing that belly up and in. Squeezing your glutes, the thighs, hamstrings. Everything is really tight. Let's go 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down. Draw those elbows back. We're going to lift up through that crown of the head. So slight tuck of the chin. Elbows are pulling down and back. And we'll soften it down. Hands come underneath those shoulders. Let's reverse it. So we'll come back to, we'll go in a hand plank this time. Again, another 10 seconds. Everything stays really, really tight. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send those hips back. So we're going to come into a down dog. We're going to stretch out those calves a bit. So really good foundation through those hands. So spread those fingers out, press into the palms. Hands are pulling towards each other. So stabilizing the shoulders. And then we'll press that belly back towards those thighs. Now you can bend those knees a lot or maybe a little. Just keep that back nice and flat. Feeling that stretch along the backs of the legs. Maybe pedaling those feet out. Now, come onto the toes. Let's go and step those feet up to the top of the mat. Bring those hands to the shins, finding that flat back. And then we'll slide those hands down a little further as we fold. So you can let the arms and the head hang heavy if that feels okay on your back, on those hamstrings. You don't want to overdo it. Just Finding that nice stretch along the backs of the legs. And then we'll bend if those knees flatten out that back, go and rise up to standing, reach it up tall. So we'll bend that left elbow, so right hand is on it, pressing back. So again, we're pressing the head back, we're keeping that core tight, so we don't want a huge arch in that low back. And now we'll find a gentle bend over to that right side. And inhale, let's bring it back up, switching sides. So bending into that right arm, core tight, standing tall. And then we'll bend it over to that left side. Good, bring it back up. Draw those elbows down, open up through that chest. Inhale it back up. Exhale, draw the elbows down. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale those arms down. Let's interlace those fingers. Open up that chest. Let's release those arms up overhead. And then find that fold. And just hang out here. Let's do that one more time. So rise on up. Again, bend into that left elbow. Stand tall. And then side stretch over to the right. And inhale it back up. Let's switch sides. Bending that right elbow. And then we'll bend over to that left side. Bring it back up. We'll interlace those fingers. Open up that chest. Good. Now, go ahead and release those arms back up. Again, find that forward fold. Let's bring those hands to the shins, flatten out that back. And then we can slide those hands down a little further. A little further. And then relax it all the way down into that forward fold. And let's take a big step back with that left foot. So we want the right foot to be outside of our hands. So that chest is pulling forward. We want room for our shoulders and our hands inside that knee. Toes are turned out just a few degrees, and then let that knee drop open, lowering down onto those forearms. And then come back to those hands. Let's straighten that front leg. Nice flat back, pulling those toes back. And let's re-bend into that knee. Let's just go ahead and switch sides. So come back to tabletop, and then we'll just step that left foot forward. Again, pressing those hips forward. And you can start on those hands with that nice flat back. Then if you want even more intensity in that stretch, just go ahead and lower down onto the forearms. Again, back stays flat, chest pulls forward. You can turn those toes out just a few degrees. Let that knee open up a little bit wider. Come back onto those hands. Straighten that front leg. Pull those toes back. Now we're going to come to a seat. So I'm going to sit wider because I'm going to sit the long way because I'm on a hardwood floor. So I want my heels to be on my mat. So I'm going to scoop my hips off of the mat. Extend my feet out as wide as I can. Flexing those feet, sitting up nice and tall. So you can bend your knees a little bit and then just start to walk those hands forward as much as it will allow. Again, we want the back flat. You want to feel like you're rolling over those sit bones instead of just rounding through your spine. Thinking about the feet really flexed. We're going to flex our glutes too, we're trying to pull those feet out a little bit wider as we fold. Good, hold just a little bit longer. You can walk those hands out a little bit further. You're finding that release through those inner thighs. Good. Bring it back up. Now let's go ahead and slide that be your right foot into your inner thigh. Starting with that, we're gonna do a side stretch first. So left elbow is gonna be on that left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. We're trying to reach for that toe. Again, working that side stretch. And then we'll rotate it around. So now just folding over that leg. You can bring that right hand across that left shin as we fold. Bring it back up. Let's go to the other side. So just extend that right leg out. Right arm on that thigh, reaching that left arm up and over. And now start to rotate it so we can reach that left hand across that thigh, sit tall, and then fold. We really want to keep a little bit flatter back. And then bring it back up. Let's just go ahead and bring those bottoms of the feet together. So another variation of a butterfly. Flat back, elbows are pulling in by the sides as we fold. And then bring it back up, draw those knees together. It's going to come onto our backs. Just hug the knees in. And now we'll keep that right knee hugged in. Left leg is going to extend out long. So flexing or pressing into that left heel. And then we'll extend that right foot up towards the ceiling. So hand can be on that hamstring, just drawing that leg in a little bit closer to the body. Now, if you can, reach up for that big toe. You might have to bend that knee a little bit. Okay, and you can sweep that leg out towards the right side. If that's a little bit too aggressive, you feel like your knee has to be super bent to get there, just grab onto the knee and then sweep that knee out towards that right side. And that right or the left hip stays pressing down. And release it. So left hand is going to draw that left knee across, right arm reaches out. Bring it back to center. Let's switch sides. So we're going to hug that left leg in as that right leg extends out. So start by just straightening out that left leg, hugging that leg in closer to the body. And then maybe you can reach up, grab onto that big toe, and then we can sweep that leg out over to the, over to that left side of the body. Go ahead and release it. That right hand is just going to guide that knee across into that twist. And then bring it back to center. Go ahead and sit up into that seat. Let's just finish it off with a twist. So again, reach those arms up. Let's twist it over to that right side. Tall on that inhale. Exhale. Gaze over that shoulder. Big twist. Let's go to the other side. Again, sit tall. Exhale. Looking over the shoulder. Twisting from the neck all the way down the length of the spine. And bring it back to center. Take a big breath in. And exhale, side out. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, a great weekend. We have yoga back here tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So hope to see you all there. Otherwise, have a great Friday and have a great weekend. All right. Bye, guys.